We're back.
And we're back. Welcome to the Cavalry COVID edition.
Johnny bringing 2020 back in style. Got the vid. What's
right.
up, dude? We're double masking.
I know. I took it off. It's interfering with the sound quality of our program here, so I took it off.
I know. I'm working with a comedian this week named John, and he was like, I told him I have a podcast, and he was like, "Oh, what kind of rig you got? You pack it right?" I was like, "It's not. We're not at that level of care."
whoa!
Where I'm packing a microphone. Do you like?
It's not a matter of caring. It's a grassroots approach. We're doing it grassroots style.
But like, I have to bring 2 weeks worth of stuff in a carry-on and a Nintendo Switch. I don't have room
for a rig
for a microphone. Okay.
Yeah.
The sound quality dips, but what? But how about this? I mean, we're in the mid. I'm in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean, and we're doing it. So give us a little bit of credit.
Yeah, well, here let's put it to the audience.
I immediately get angry. I tell the audience I don't care enough, and then I get angry at the audience in the next breath.
Well, here's what I want to ask the audience. Would you rather go a week in the dark with no episode?
Right.
Or just a small dip in audio quality, and you continue to get the comedic stylings and enjoyable
frivolous updates.
Yes, frivolous appliance talk, which we haven't had in a while.
Now, maybe an astute audience member would go, what I'd like is to not miss a week and just pack a freaking microphone, because it doesn't seem that hard nowadays to plug a microphone into your computer.
Well, to them I say, you know what I'd like? $1 million.
Someone does.
We don't always get what we want, so
that's right.
Fuck you.
So, hey, there you go. Now I got
there
you.
It is.
That's where I want the energy to be.
All right.
How
you feeling?
I feel okay. I tried to recreate, I think, out of how like if your wife is pregnant, you get sympathy pains.
Sympathy pains?
Have you ever heard that?
Out on that? No.
I mean, no, I don't think we really get it. But then, like, I think that's a phrase. I don't think I'm making that up. But that's like a thing.
Is that where like she's like, "Oh, this baby," and then you got to be like, "Yeah, I know, I have a tummy ache too."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're relating
right there with her.
So I think that's what I did, because I heard you had COVID. You're down pretty bad. So I went out. I had 2 margaritas at lunch, and oh my god! And then I came back to the room, and you're like, "Oh, what time is it?" You did lay down for a little bit. You got a headache. Now I got.
We're in the same boat.
So I feel like I tried to get there with you. I'm a little foggy.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. Oh,
yeah.
That's the camaraderie we have.
Cheap liquor. Yeah, sympathy pain. I'm giving you sympathy pains.
When one of us is sick, the other one day drinks. That's how it goes.
Right. I'm like, oh, Johnny's gonna be useless for the next couple days. I gotta get there too. I gotta be as useless as I can be.
Yeah. Oh man.
Heidi texted me because she was like, she's home with Ginger. And
is she babysitting Ginger this week?
She's babysitting her daughter while I'm gone. And she's doing a pretty good job. She's doing a good job. But she texted me because it was over. So I left on Friday. So then, we don't have daycare on Friday. So it was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then daycare was on Monday. She texted me, and we were in some island. And she goes, "Oh, I feel like I just got Ginger off to daycare. I feel like I'm on vacation." And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy. I just spent all day on the beach. I feel like I'm on vacation."
Oh, babe, it's funny how we're both working hard, but we trick ourselves into.
That's one of those, and that was over text. So you got to really feel out the moment. You got to be pretty confident you're sending that text at a time. It's gonna catch her in the right mood.
That's one where
I can tell immediately whether it's not the time to make that joke or not. via text. You got to have some cojones.
You start to panic when you don't hear back right away.
Right. You need the immediately for on the iPhone where they just ha ha ha. You want an immediate just ha ha ha.
Yeah.
You don't want any. She could have
Any
fucked
riff, right?
pretty good.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, so how are you feeling, Johnny? You're drinking something there. That's good. Stay
Yeah,
hydrated.
water, my best friend.
Yeah. Is your throat
Feel
hurt?
my throat was hurting yesterday. I don't know. I never would have even tested or thought I had it. I was just like, oh, I got the flu again. Because I had like body aches and flu. And Aaron was like, well, you should take a COVID test. Whatever. All right. I'll appease you.
I love how you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
well,
I
I
never
didn't
thought
even
I
have
had it. I was just had a sore throat and body aches and fever. Like they've been saying this shit for 4 years. These
Andrew,
are
I don't watch the news, and I thought those were the symptoms of a fever and a flu.
right.
You have to understand, the first time I ever got COVID, I just thought I was invincible. I had no symptoms, and I would have never tested or known the first time.
Right.
One
That
of my
makes
kids
sense.
had it, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
now I have it. I
Right.
tested, and it showed up bold. It showed
Yeah.
up bold and quickly right away. I'm
Bing.
keeping this as a
I've
secret.
had that. See, I was in the airport one time and Heidi was like, you got to test before you get on that plane, just out of conscience. And I went in the bathroom stall. And by the time like the little liquid was going up this, it was like bing, bing, bing. It was like flashing at me. So it's like, oh, fuck. And that is the same thing though. That's when I was feeling my worst too. Like I felt like I was gonna pass out walking through the.
Yeah.
So I was like, I probably. But yeah. So but so no sore throat anymore. That's the worst part to me.
No, I thought that was kind of bad yesterday. I was hawking up some bad stuff and it kind of hurt. But now I'm just like exhausted. But I think it's from being a piece of shit the last 3 days and doing
Yeah.
nothing and not
Trust
even
me.
eating.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not eating good.
I'm not eating anything, so I have like no energy. So that sucks. But I've been quarantining in the basement, just living down here, which I thought would be like the
Yeah,
ultimate
your
dream.
paradise. Yeah.
But like I'm going to bed at 8.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your dream. I mean, that's like that is
so far you're winning me over so far. Basement,
no,
8 o'clock bedtime. Okay. Okay.
okay. Waiting for
Yeah.
the bad part. Oh man, I woke up last night to like and I get it pitch black. I unplug everything, cover everything so it's pitch black. And I wake up to like what sounds like someone unscrewing a bottle cap like right next to me. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I turn on the light and it's in the wall. There's just a mouse scratching
Oh God.
in the wall, like out, oh, awful. So I just bang on the wall and it stops, but
Well,
we
good
got, we
job.
got animals in the walls.
Solve that problem.
Yeah.
You can buy these things like because so when we moved into our house in our shed, we have like not just like a mouse, we have like an army of giant, I don't know, possums or rats. Like you go to my shed, it sounds like the whole thing's being like taken over by aliens or something like.
Oh no.
So I bought
Inside, like in the
in
walls
the
of it?
walls. Yeah, in the walls. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then but it's the shed, so I've never been motivated to actually call like an exterminator. But
Right.
well, that's not good because then that's not far from my home, my precious
Right.
fortress of solitude.
Right.
So I bought these things at Home Depot or whatever. You just plug them into a plug and they make
Oh,
some sort of sound or vibration that are supposed to like
yeah.
deter rodents. And
We
I
got
have
like 6
plugged
of
into my
those.
basement and I also plugged them into the shed. So here's the test. Here's the results of the experiment. Has not evicted the rodents from the shed, but I have not had any rodents in the basement. So that could be false confirmation because maybe they just can't get in there for whatever reason. But that's it. That's my product review.
Well, here's my response to that product because I've been recommended those. So we went and got them. And there's 2 kinds. There's a kind that's like it beams out that noise outward into the living space so they don't come into the space because it's annoying. And then there's also another kind that's more expensive. You plug it in and it does something to the electrical systems in the walls that they don't like.
Oh.
But those are more expensive. So we have one of those, and we plugged it in upstairs in the family room where we would always hear it on the exterior wall. And I think it worked because we haven't heard it this year. But we've got these outward ones, cheapo ones in the basement. And
It is really, it's the, I have the cheapo ones for sure. So now I'm just realizing that's why it's not working in the shed, is because they're, it's just shooting it up away from them. They don't give a fuck.
yeah, it's shooting it inside the shed and
At
not
least maybe
along.
they won't go in the shed and eat like, my wires or whatever I have in there. So then
That's where you
what
keep
was
your
I gonna say?
wires
That's where
inside
I
the
keep my
shed,
wire.
not in the walls.
I like to keep my wire. I have a lot of wiring that I keep in the,
Sure.
I don't know why I said wires. I know why I said wires because there's a this old comic who used to have some parody song about rats in the attic chewing on the wires. What was his name? It doesn't matter. The point is that really is the lazy man solution to a problem. Like, could you imagine if that was just everything you ever had to buy was just this thing that you
They
plug
plug
into
in.
the wall and it fixes such a complex problem like a mice in your wall? You know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a leak in your pipe. Well, fuck, what are we gonna do? Hey, you just plug this into your kitchen outlet and it solves the water doesn't like it, so it stays in the pipe. Let's invent some more of those.
Yeah. You know what's sad is like even if that was a thing and I went to Menards and I saw two versions and one was $40 and one was six, I'd probably get the $6 one to see how it worked. If it doesn't work, then
Yeah.
I'd get the $40 one.
It depends how desperate you are, you know?
Yeah.
When the problem first starts, I'm either buying the cheapest one or I'm buying the most expensive one. Like I'm never buying the middle one, you know? I'm either like just starting to address the problem, so I'm gonna buy the cheapest one to see if it works, or I'm like about to kill myself and I was like, I would spend anything to get rid of this thing. I'll buy the most expensive one they have.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
almost every time I bought the cheapest thing, I've regretted it though.
but we
Right.
still, me too, and we still continue to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Uh, uh, so I messaged you now before we get into this topic. This is my topic. This is a discussion topic. But did I not recently have a topic I needed backup on regarding baths versus showers?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
If memory serves, you were anti-bath for
Okay.
cleaning yourself, right? Wasn't that it?
Well, boy, did I contradict myself yesterday.
Oh my God.
No, this was Monday.
I almost gagged when I read the text. I almost gagged. But please tell the people what you.
Well, so Monday morning was the day that I tested and discovered I had it. And I had the worst like chills and body aches. It was just brutal. And so at about 12:30, I got in a nice hot bath just because that was the most appealing thing when you're freezing and you can't get warm. And I did not get out of the bath until 5 o'clock.
I read, and you wrote it as 4.5 hours. And I'm like, 4.5. So were you recycling the water? Like, were you cycling the water out? Like, were you?
Well, I was, yes, when your body gets acclimated to it, then I would add hot water and I would do it just enough to where it would heat up the water. I'd be like, oh, this feels like a fresh bath. And I turn it off because otherwise I burn out all the hot water I have in my storage
Yeah,
tank
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it would make more while I'm stewing. And
Yeah,
I
that's
just
what you
kept
were
doing that.
doing. You were
I
cooking
was,
yourself.
I know. And it was great. But honestly, getting out, like the reason
It's
it was
like
four and a
that
half
Bugs
hours,
Bunny. It's like that Bugs Bunny cartoon. You're like slicing carrots off into your own
just
bathtub
putting it in with me.
and potatoes.
I couldn't get out because like I was home alone and I just couldn't motivate myself. Oh my God. That sounded disgusting. I couldn't motivate myself to get out. And so,
Right. Well, and also it's torture when you're sick. I mean, it's bad enough just like when you're in a hot tub or something. You're like, I definitely want to get out of this hot tub, but like my towel's over there, and I know
yep.
there's those horrible seconds before I can like get warm again. But then if you have a fever, I imagine it's even worse.
Yeah. Edie called me. My phone was, with me in the tub. Edie called me and was like, "Hey, can you let me in?" Because normally, they'll just come home. Like if I'm not home, they'll come in through the garage. But I was home, and so I locked it, not thinking. And she was like, "Can
Yeah.
you let me in?" And I was like, "I, I can't. I'm in the bath. You gotta, you gotta. I think the back door is unlocked. See if that works." And luckily, the back door was open. She had to like climb over the gate because you can't open the gate because of the snow drift. So she had to like make her way in. And then when when Aaron got home from work, she was like, are you kidding? You got to get out. You got to get out." And I was like, "It's too cold. It's too cold." It felt like someone was like telling me to do the polar plunge at Lake Michigan. Like, just come on, just go, just get in the water. I was like, I can't get
Okay.
out.
I gotta ask the
But
question that I'm sure is on everybody's mind. Did you
yeah,
have to use the restroom while you were in the bath?
I did have to pee twice, but when you know you're
Uh,
getting right back in, it's different.
So you did get out to pee.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm not
I
gonna.
was just confirming, just confirming. I didn't know how dire this was.
Oh, trust me, yeah. And then the bubbles had run out, so you could there was no hiding it. Like if Aaron had
Bubbles,
walked in and the waters was yellow, it'd be obvious.
bubbles. You had a bubble bath.
Yeah, what's a bath without? It just doesn't feel like a bath if you don't have bubbles in it.
Was there a Sesame Street character on the stuff you
A
put in
duck.
a duck?
There was a rubber ducky in the
There's
tub
a
with
rubber
me.
ducky. So you're in the bath for 4.5 hours.
But I will say this: I didn't. Once the bubbles were out, they were out. I didn't add bubbles as I added water.
That's good. That's
But
very
I
good.
slept in there. I mean, it was great. I slept in there. I
That's what I
watched.
was gonna ask. I was like, oh, he
Yeah,
was sick. I wonder if he passed out in there. But that's like
yeah.
dangerous. And you're like, isn't that like how Matthew
Well,
Perry died or something?
I took that chance. Well, who? Matthew Perry?
Yeah, from
Well, I
Friends.
assume he was like either drunk or on drugs, right?
I don't know. I know he didn't he pass out in a hot tub though.
Well, that's how the lead singer of Cranberries died. That's how someone else died, but I think they were like super
Yeah,
wasted.
but you were probably the equivalent of that on like cold medicine and COVID.
Now I'm very stupid. I didn't even think to take anything. It wasn't until like 3 days later, Aaron was like, "You should take ibuprofen." I was like, "That that would help with the body aches." Yes, good idea.
You're,
I just don't. I don't do it.
you're like
It's not that I'm even anti. It's just that it just doesn't. It didn't dawn on me.
you're like Dr. Quinn medicine woman. You're like, oh no, he's got a flu. Get him in the bath. He's got fever. Did you try letting some blood to see if that helped? A couple
Get the
leeches.
bleaches. Uh, anyway, so
Yeah.
what?
Ibuprofen.
What's the longest bath you've ever taken?
5 minutes. I don't know.
5 minutes.
I can't
What?
remember. I can't
It takes
remember
10 to fill up the
as an
tub.
adult. I do not remember
Yes.
getting in a like drawing myself a bath. I know that I've never taken a bath in my current home or any of the apartments I've lived in as an adult. I know that.
Wow.
I think at hotels. So Heidi, oh, I know one. So Heidi and I, we were in the Cotswolds, and she got this hotel based on the picture of the room because they had one of those giant clawfoot tubs in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
even in the bathroom. It had its own shower, but this was just a standalone huge. So it's like, oh, that's really cool. So I took a bath in there, but I don't remember the time. It probably was not very long. Not
Wow.
not approaching an hour, I would say.
I forgot who I was talking to. I
I get
told someone
bored.
else.
I just get really bored. Even in a
You get bored.
yeah, well, I don't know why. I just
Like I had an iPad. I had the iPad on the stand
yeah,
right next to me.
yeah, okay. I guess if you had something like that. But you're supposed to like just close your eyes and sort of but you can't sleep. I guess you did sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, baby.
Well, good for
My
you.
hands were my hands were
Yeah,
ready
the
for. I was thinking
pruning.
that's what That's what criminals should do before they go rob a bank. Is just take a bath for like 5 hours. There's no way you're getting fingerprints off those fingers. Oh my god! Like
Yeah.
as a kid, your hand would get wrinkly, but man, after 5 hours, it's a whole new game.
Who do we catch here? Aquaman? They're trying to like get your prints and then too pruny to
Yeah.
try this guy out. We got to fingerprint him.
Yeah.
I take a quick bath. Isn't that my constitutional right to take a bath before I process?
Yeah.
That's very funny. Well, so what's your timeline? Like, so Aaron has it too?
Yeah, she tested and got positive, I think the next day. But she doesn't have any symptoms. I'm better. I'm on the mend. I'm just weak. But she doesn't have any symptoms. We covered this on text. She was boosted. I not an anti-booster, just too lazy and forgetful,
Right.
and here it bit me in the
Oh,
ass.
I was just curious. That's why I asked you. I was just curious. But so does she have to? I'm just thinking about like who's doing all the work at the house. You're in the basement.
We're just both double masking and trying to neglect the children as much as we can.
Yeah. And see if they can
But yeah, I mean, we're kind of both doing whatever.
yeah.
She's staying home from, she's obviously got to stay home from work. So
No. Hmm.
yeah, fun
Fun
stuff.
times. Fun times. See,
So where's the boat parked right now?
we are not parked. We're cruising around. We just left Cozumel. So we're going back to Galveston,
Nice.
Texas. Yeah, I'd never been. And first of all, so getting on the ship, I've never been to this port, and they don't. You remember probably from working these things, but they don't tell you anything. They just give you your flight itinerary, and they say this is the port. You figure out how to get on there. You just start talking to people and see where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do. You have no ticket. You have no
Right.
confirmation number. You just say your name over and over again until somebody has you on a list. So
Yes.
I'm not really freaking out. I'm like, well, whatever. I've done this enough times. This is new. I hate anything new, but I've just been through this before at different places. So I'm just gonna go and so you land in Dallas or Houston, and then it's an hour and a half Uber ride from Houston to Galveston.
Oof.
So I was like, oh, okay. And we didn't land, and we landed 20 minutes early. And so I think we landed like at like 1 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
But we got in a little early. So I was like, oh, cool. I won't have to sweat missing the boat. So I'm just like, I go straight to the Uber line. I don't waste any time. Like I want to get there early. So, I'm not going to get lunch or anything. So
Yeah.
got in the Uber line. And again, nobody told me anything or, advice on when to leave or what car to take or anything. I just assumed you take an Uber, you get reimbursed. So I take this Uber. It's like $120 or something. And we pull up to where the ship takes off. There's nobody. I see the ship. There's nobody there. There's no cars. There's no one outside. It is a ghost town. And I walk up to the gate, and this port guy, the guy who works for the port, he's giving me attitude like, planning on sailing today? I was like, oh yeah, yeah. He goes, well, is that your car? What are you gonna do with your car? Just leave it there? I was like, that's an Uber, man. I don't know if you've not seen these before. But I guess the Uber was in the wrong drop off. I don't know. Or they're not used to whatever. So I go, what? So I finally figured out the ship was like about to leave. They
That
said
you were supposed to be on?
yeah. They were like, I got there. They said if you'd gotten there 5 minutes, but like the door would have closed on me like 5 minutes later. And I'm telling you, I was not rushed at all. I wasn't panicking. It was honestly the best that I didn't know because I'm just sitting in the chatting. If I had known that, I'd been like, can you step on it? Oh, can you make this light? But I wasn't doing any of that. He took like a wrong turn at one point. I'm like, oh, yeah, man. Yeah.
Wait, so were you late or did you just not know the time
No, I
that you were
I
supposed to
didn't
be
know.
there?
I knew the ship. So I knew that the ship supposed scheduled to sail at 4, but I didn't know they had like a hard out. So it was at 3 that they said we closed the door. So I got there like at 2:55. But no one told me any of this. I had no idea. I just assumed because they booked the flight that I was like, wow, they're kind of risking it because if I get delayed at all, I thought if I got delayed, maybe I'd miss it would be close. But I was like,
You're lucky that you got landed early.
exactly. I was like, so I had to have landed early to make this ship, and they booked it. So I don't think
Wow.
they give a fuck. I think they were like, I thought about it later. I was like, to them, I think they really don't care, and they're like, it's worth it to us to buy this cheap flight and not put him up overnight. And on the chance that he makes it, great. And if he doesn't, then we'll put him up for a night and we'll fly him to whatever the first Costa Maya or whatever it would have been. But
Just gambling.
they're just gambling. They're gambling,
Wow.
or they just don't talk to each other. I don't know, but that's the life that I was talking about with John. Man, it's like that's the life of a cruise ship comic because they really don't tell you shit.
Yeah.
No, and now I'll know. And now if that ever happened again, and I was going out of Galveston, and the flight says it lands in Houston at 1, I go, "Hey guys, this isn't going to work. I'm not going to make it."
Yeah.
But if you haven't done it before, you don't know how to say it.
Damn. So now next time
And
you'll
then so there's
be
only one
panicked the whole
other.
time.
I wasn't the last person on. There was one other couple. Well, there was two other people. There's one other couple who got on after me, probably like 2 minutes, and they weren't stressed at all either. They were just like this kind of well-to-do Texas couple, lady with big hair, just strolling through. They didn't have a care in the world. It's like they knew. They were like, we're just hanging out across the street, and we don't want to fight the crowds. And then
Yeah.
there was one other one other guy, and he was in this huge argument with him because they wouldn't. It was so on brand for Texas, but he couldn't take his gun on. No one told him he wasn't allowed to take his gun on board. and then and then I was thinking about it. I was like, well, why didn't he just give in? But then I was like, well, what's he gonna do? You can't just leave your gun. All right, just hold on to this for me. I'll be back in a week. You have to not like if you bring your gun somewhere, that's it. Your gun's
Yeah,
on.
you're either not going on the trip, right?
Yeah, until you go home to your lockbox or whatever. What else? What are you gonna do with your
What
gun?
did what did he do?
You leave it in your car. Can you leave a gun in your car? Is that legal?
I I assume
I don't
his
know.
car's not parked right outside the boat.
Well, I mean, if he did, a lot of these people drive and park, I think, but I don't know.
Huh. I don't know.
That's the part
Wow.
of gun ownership nobody talks about. It's kind of like having a dog. Like you have to like think ahead. You have to call the airlines. Is it okay? How do I do this? It's a lot of rigmarole
Yeah.
on a gun.
Your pet gun.
I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna get those rodent things and plug them into my outlets. I'm gonna do. They need to make those for robbers.
Yeah, for safety. They're safety plugins.
Safety plugins. They vibrate.
Yeah. Or they just like when they sense that's what we should invent for the cavalry. That'll be our product line. As soon as it senses motion, it just makes, it just plays. Can you hand me that over there or something? So they're like, oh shit, someone's home.
It just starts telling you a very unpleasant story. It's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I took a 4.5 hour bath the other day. It's like, oh,
They all just run out the house screaming. Stay away from the beaner house. It's fucking gross.
Fucking gross. Trying to rob the beaners. There's just some guy in the tub. He wouldn't get out. I put a gun on him and everything. I said, I'm gonna fucking shoot you, and he wouldn't get out of the tub.
He said it's too cold out there.
Too cold. I'm all pruny.
Yeah, I'm all pruny.
Should we do it?
You know what?
Oh,
I don't know if we forgot last week or if we did it, but did we forget scene where we at in our
the
Rudolph
movie.
Boulevard?
Oh shit! Yeah, I totally forgot. You're gonna have to remind me where we're at because I completely forgot about
All right, so I think we were on a when we had a backstory or some shit.
I don't know. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a week off and we'll confer with our director and we'll see where we were at the last time.
That's right.
and then we'll
This
come
is
back.
our let's all go to the lobby week
Yeah,
where you go
everyone
get
can
your
take a
snack and
moment. They can take a moment and they can relish in what's happened, the magic so far, and then we'll come back and write it
yeah.
because I really do not remember where we left off.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I
that's
don't
on
remember
me. I'm gonna wear that one. That's my bad.
either. All right, well let's get into it then. Let's who's going first here?
Okay, I can go first if you want, or you can go first.
Okay.
You're sick, so you decide.
No, sure, go ahead. Oh,
Okay.
first, before you get into it, did you bring the decor in your? I've never seen. I never had a cruise
No.
ship room as what are those kind of rocks called again?
Uh, oh yeah, what are those? Those are I know exactly what
Juniper?
you're talking about. They're petrified, not petrified. Is that
No, what are they?
an amethyst?
Something like that. I'm gonna text you after. I'm gonna ask Duncan after we're
Oh yeah,
done.
they have nice artwork on this ship in this room.
I
So
thought maybe you brought your amethyst and whatever
my
that other thing
giant
was under
parrot. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that would be
Just
even
make
more.
yourself feel. Oh, and that no, the face with a butterfly over the eyes.
Yeah, that one's kind of creepy, honestly. It feels like Silence of the Lambs a little bit. But
Yeah,
I
it's weird.
that would be even more enraging for the listeners if they're like, he brings his own fucking artwork, but he can't bring a microphone.
he packed he packed an amethyst.
Yeah, a giant rock. Okay, and this file this under one that I may have done before, but I don't care because I feel passionately enough about it. But so I see a lot of these posts lately about like it's like a picture of a family at a dinner table or from like the 60s or like nostalgia so something from the 80s, a man going to work in his car and is parked in a driveway and it's a pretty little house and a white picket fence and they said
Oh,
remember when a man on one salary could afford a home and a car and take his kids on vacation all and those that what happened to that dream, what happened to that America? Let me
sure.
tell you something. You don't want to switch places with that guy. Not there isn't one person I know who's even if they're struggling financially, that wants to switch places with. Think of the difference in that the picture looks nice, sure, but the
Yeah.
house fucking stinks like cigarettes. They don't have any good cable. Sundays you have to watch one football game, maybe, and you don't get to pick which one.
You don't. Okay, I'm not saying I'm not backing you up. I'm just
And
asking.
you go on you can't afford like like what your TV looked like back then. The
Yeah,
piece of shit, snowy. You get two channels.
yeah.
Sucked. Now you got a beautiful giant plasma screen TV for like $300. It's way
I
better now.
like I like your attitude. That's the right attitude to have. I'm just saying they didn't know what they were missing. You
I
ever see
know,
like
but,
old
but, but
movies and TV shows when they wheel out their brand new piece of shit tiny TV and they're like, look at this. They're
no,
happier than I've ever been.
but I don't think that's true. They had the same they would have suffered then from the same nostalgia that we're suffering. They would have looked at people like, oh, wasn't it better when we didn't have this and we just gathered around the radio and everybody was, happier back before we had cars and we just had a horse and I just like my horse. Now I have to have this car and it takes gas and then you got to take it to the mechanic. Everyone just bitches about everything.
Yeah,
But it is
I
better
agree. All
now.
right.
It is better. You don't want to go like it's fun to play this little nostalgia game. Also, they're like, oh, a man on one salary. That guy probably worked his ass off, worked way harder than we have to work. I know there's people that have
Yeah,
like
he worked his ass off. He was never home. He didn't know his kids. He
didn't
beat
know his
his
kids,
wife.
beat his wife. Exactly. And you know what I am? I'm sick of nostalgia.
Oh,
I'm done. I'm done on
oh
nostalgia.
boy.
I don't want any more. I don't want any more. You know, remember whens. Let's just
Uh,
do some new shit. Just worry about the future. Just we're building lots of stuff. There's lots of cool
yes.
cars. There's lots of neat inventions. There's
You can't
virtual
move forward
reality.
if you're always looking in the past.
Yeah, I don't need any more, remember when this was so great. It's over. Just just worry about the future. That's what I need backup on, I guess. I don't
See,
know.
I agree with that, except I like my own mental nostalgia, like going back to things that are nostalgic to me. I don't like nostalgia being put in my face or being told what my
Right.
nostalgia is because it's always wrong and it doesn't match up and
Yeah.
it's not my nostalgia.
Like Dusty Slay has one of the greatest lines ever. He's like talking about country music. He says it makes you reminisce for times you never had, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's true. I think that's what a lot of this is. And people like think it's just same thing you do when you know what it is? It's the same thing you do when you're on it's like social media brain, but you get jealous of people's lives and you're like, oh, look at them, they're on this trip that looks so nice, or their house looks so cool, and I don't have that. I think they're doing that with this nostalgia. They're thinking about people in the 90s or the 60s or whatever. Oh, back then it was so much better, it was so much better. It wasn't better. It was,
Yeah.
I guarantee you it wasn't better. It just wasn't.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
No, everyone had the same miserable. They had the same ups and downs. I'm not saying they were miserable the whole time, but I'm just saying it was probably about the same. And I bet in 100 years, people will they whatever conditions will probably be better, if anything, but it'll be people will feel about the same. It's like the human condition. Some days you're happy, some days you're sad, you know, and you just get through it.
Yeah. You just trudge through it.
So just
I'll
enough of
back
the
that up.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
Fake, I'll call it fake nostalgia. If it's your own personal core memories that you remember, and you had a bat that you used to play with in the ball field, and you see a bat, like, great, that's fine. There's like an old
Right.
movie theater you used to go to. Wonderful.
You can miss your dead grandma, folks. That's not what we're
Yeah,
saying. We're not
no, no,
saying
no,
you
no, no,
can't
no,
miss.
no, no. Don't put words in my mouth. I do not want anyone out there. Once someone dies, you forget they ever existed. You quit
You
saying their
move
name,
on
you burn all their pictures, and you move on.
and you make a
Meet
new
some
person.
how about you meet somebody new? What about me telling you that at your grandmother's funeral? Hey, there's lots of old ladies out there. Go meet a new one. Quit wailing away in here.
You got a bad attitude.
Shitty at what are you, a quitter? Go meet a new grandma. All right.
I love it. I back it up.
All right. What do you need backup on?
All right. Well, my backup. Did you watch The Office, the TV show?
Yes.
Okay. This is great. Uh Jim from The Office.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Jim.
Right. Of
Jim's
course.
America's favorite. Oh, funny guy.
Yeah.
I think Jim was an asshole. I think he was a huge asshole. He's
Yeah.
very judgy. He's very self-righteous.
Yes.
He's can do no wrong. First of all, I'll say I didn't like him during the whole thing. I thought he was involved in
You're
some
doing the whole
funny
show.
moments.
This isn't like you've rethought about it. Even as you were watching it, you're like, this guy's a dick.
No, I didn't always think, oh, he's an asshole. I didn't like him. I don't know
Yeah.
why. And not to be one of those snobs that's like, oh, the British version was better. But I just was so in love with the British one. And when this one came, I was like, this guy,
Hey,
I don't know if
I've
it's
never
John
watched.
Krasinski
I've never.
or
I think I've seen the British one, but I don't remember. Is John or is
the Hobbit
Jim
guy.
Jim? Is he the same on the British one as he is on the American one? Like, is it the same character?
Uh, kind of, but he's not. Kind of, but he's not as smug. He's more of a like. He's more of a victim. Like, oh my god, I am one of these people, and I don't want to be one of these people. Whereas Jim is kind of like, I'm above all these people. You see these fucking idiots.
Yeah,
This is not,
yeah, yeah. I see what
but
you're saying. I think if they had to go, see, that's why they have to make Dwight so crazy horrible, is to justify why we still like Jim, because he does like really
yeah,
mean stuff to Dwight.
he does mean stuff to Dwight. And when someone does something so fucking stupid, he does his little camera thing where it's like, And it's just like, well, who the fuck are you? You work there. What's the difference between you and them?
I think it says something about it says something about you that you identify more with Michael Scott in that moment. And like the whole point of Jim looking at the camera is to like to acknowledge to the audience, like, oh, isn't this guy a lunatic? And Johnny's like, what? No, Michael Scott's right.
Who's looking out for Michael?
He burned his foot on a George Foreman grill. Whatever. I could have done that. Could have been me.
Yeah. That's my groundbreaking
I think like
hot take.
that is a good hot take. Yeah, I don't know if I've heard that. You're anti-Jim.
He's just
My
so
roommate
Jim.
or my friend Brant, previous guest, obsessed with The Office and would watch it every day. And that was before, because The Office had kind of like, I think during COVID, it got like a whole new bump, or when it was on Netflix or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he would watch. We'd have it recorded on the DVR, like 3 episodes every day.
I mean, it is one of the
He
funniest
would
shows.
cry. He would cry when like
hilarious.
no, he was like such a wuss. He would watch Jim and Pam get married or something.
Oh no, he was crying like
Yeah.
emotionally.
Like, emotionally.
Oh
It's
my
very funny show.
God.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious. He loved it.
Oh, he should watch fucking This Is Us. He would fucking hang himself.
Oh my God. I heard a great bit about This Is Us. Do you know Matt Goldich? He's a comedian.
No.
He's a New York guy. So you kind of have to be, I guess it's like a New York joke or whatever. He's like, This Is Us is a show about people getting to their train stop. I was like, oh, this is us.
This is us. That's funny.
What's your favorite Office episode? I don't know the British one. I know the British one's better. Saying like the British one's better is the same thing as like you read the book and not the movie. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, I love the British one, but they're so different. And like, I mean, the first season is basically like a rewrite. It's the same plot, a lot of the same jokes.
Yeah.
But then it found its own thing, and I love it. But I don't know. The dinner party is very funny.
Oh, is that where they go to his house? To his condo?
They go to his condo, and him and his
yeah. Oh,
it's so awkward.
I just saw that one, and he pulls out that little TV, and he's bright plasma screen TV.
He shows them how he curls up at the foot of the bed.
Yeah.
He just sleeps on a little bench.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think the Brant's favorite too, and I think it's also mine, is the Christmas party where they go to Benihana and then they bring home the waitresses from
yeah. And he has to mark them.
Marks their hand.
Yeah.
So
he's like, where's my girl?
The way they play that out when you slowly realize like they don't know which one's which is so funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was Office Talk.
That was Office Talk.
Thanks everybody for listening to the Cavalry. We gotta get Johnny some soup.
Get Johnny some soup.
What do you got coming up? I have no idea when this is coming out. So
this is probably coming out around, I'm guessing February 5th. So I'm going to go ahead and plug Mason City Limits, February 23rd, 24th. Like I said, one of those might be in Bloomington. So check out my website. Then the Comedy Cabin in Jamesville, March 2nd. That's Saturday only.
Okay, I will be on March 1st. I'll be at the Wicca Theater in Whidbey Island with my buddy Bo Johnson. And then same thing with Bo at the North Bend Theater in North Bend, Washington on March 2nd. So if you're Pacific Northwest, you know people in those areas, send them our way. All right, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
The Cavalry!